Close your eyes for a moment. Imagine a world awash in notifications, a symphony of pings and buzzes vying for your attention. Your phone, a portal to an endless stream of information, demands your gaze. Social media, a stage for curated lives and fleeting connections, beckons you to scroll. Emails pile up, deadlines loom, and the pressure to do more, be more, consume more, feels inescapable. This, my friends, is the reality of the digital age. We are bombarded with stimuli, our senses under constant assault from the digital realm. This relentless barrage, while seemingly innocuous, takes a toll on our most precious resource, our minds. Our attention spans dwindle, our focus fragments, and we find ourselves caught in a cycle of distraction, seeking solace in the fleeting dopamine hits offered by our devices. But what if there was a way to break free from this digital grip? What if we could reclaim our focus, rediscover the joy of stillness, and find clarity amidst the chaos? This is where the concept of a dopamine detox emerges, not as a radical rejection of technology, but as a conscious recalibration of our relationship with it. It's about reclaiming our attention, restoring our inner peace, and rediscovering the beauty of a world that exists beyond the screen. It's about understanding the subtle ways in which our digital habits shape our minds, and consciously choosing to engage with technology in a way that serves us rather than enslaves us. As we stand on the cusp of 2025, a year poised to be a crucible of technological advancement, the need for a digital detox has never been more pressing. The lines between the physical and digital worlds continue to blur, with augmented reality, virtual reality, and artificial intelligence poised to further integrate themselves into the fabric of our lives. While these advancements hold immense promise, they also threaten to exacerbate the very issues that plague us: information overload, digital addiction, and a constant state of onlineness. The year 2025 represents a crossroads, a moment to pause and reflect on the direction we are headed. Will we continue down a path of digital dependence, our lives increasingly dictated by algorithms and notifications, or will we choose to harness the power of technology while prioritizing our mental well-being? The choice ultimately lies with each of us. The dopamine detox, far from being a passing fad, is poised to become an essential tool for navigating this brave new world. It's about reclaiming our agency, setting healthy boundaries with technology, and prioritizing our mental health in a world that often seems designed to distract and overwhelm. It's about recognizing that true fulfillment and happiness are not found in the fleeting dopamine hits offered by the digital realm, but in the richness of human connection, the pursuit of meaningful goals, and the simple joys of being present in the moment. So what exactly is a dopamine detox? The term itself can feel somewhat daunting, conjuring images of austere retreats and complete digital isolation, but the reality is far less extreme and far more accessible. At its core, a dopamine detox is a conscious effort to reduce our exposure to the hyper-stimulating activities that have come to dominate our lives. It's about taking a step back from the constant barrage of notifications, the endless scroll of social media, and the addictive allure of video games and streaming services. It's about creating space for boredom, for stillness, for the kind of quiet contemplation that allows our minds to wander, to rest, and to reset. It's about rediscovering the simple pleasures that have been overshadowed by the allure of the digital world, the joy of a good book, the beauty of nature, the depth of a meaningful conversation. The goal is not to become a digital hermit, but rather to develop a healthier, more balanced relationship with technology. It's about using technology as a tool to enhance our lives, rather than allowing it to dictate our thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. It's about reclaiming our time, our attention, and ultimately, our lives. The dopamine detox is a journey of self-discovery, a chance to break free from the shackles of digital distraction and reconnect with the things that truly matter. In a world awash in digital noise, reclaiming our clarity can feel like an uphill battle. But the rewards of embarking on a dopamine detox are well worth the effort. By consciously reducing our exposure to hyper-stimulating activities, we create the space for our minds to calm, to focus, and to tap into our innate creativity. The benefits extend far beyond increased productivity and focus. Dopamine detoxing can lead to reduced anxiety, improved sleep, enhanced self-awareness, and a deeper appreciation for the present moment. It's about rediscovering the joy of simple pleasures, the beauty of the natural world, and the depth of human connection. It's about reclaiming our ability to think deeply, to feel fully, and to live intentionally. The journey may not always be easy, but with each step we take towards digital minimalism, we move closer to a life of greater clarity, purpose, and fulfillment. The dopamine detox is not a quick fix, but rather a long-term investment in our mental well-being. It's a commitment to living more consciously, to prioritizing our mental health, and to creating a life that is both meaningful and fulfilling. To truly grasp the transformative power of a dopamine detox, we must first understand the intricate workings of this powerful neurotransmitter. Dopamine, often dubbed the motivation molecule, plays a pivotal role in our brain's reward system, a complex network that drives us to seek out pleasurable experiences and repeat behaviors that trigger those feel-good sensations. It's the driving force behind our most basic desires, propelling us to seek food, water, and connection, ensuring our survival and perpetuation as a species. Imagine dopamine as the brain's own internal reward system, a chemical messenger that delivers a surge of pleasure whenever we engage in activities that are essential for our survival or propagation. Eating a delicious meal, achieving a challenging goal, or experiencing the warmth of human connection. All these activities trigger the release of dopamine, reinforcing these behaviors and making us more likely to repeat them in the future. This intricate system, honed over millennia of evolution, served our ancestors well, ensuring they sought out the resources and connections necessary for survival. However, in our modern world, this delicate system has been hijacked, bombarded by a relentless stream of artificial stimuli designed to exploit our innate desire for dopamine-driven rewards. From the addictive algorithms of social media to the instant gratification of online shopping, our brains are awash in a sea of dopamine triggers, leading to a state of chronic overstimulation and, ultimately, a diminished capacity for experiencing genuine joy. The real magic of dopamine lies not just in the initial surge of pleasure it delivers, but in its ability to create powerful feedback loops that keep us coming back for more. This dopamine loop, as it's known, is a self-perpetuating cycle of anticipation, reward, and craving that underlies many of our daily habits, both healthy and unhealthy. Imagine the anticipation you feel before taking a bite of your favorite dessert, the excitement building as you scroll through your social media feed, or the thrill of chasing a high score in a video game. This anticipation itself triggers a release of dopamine, setting the stage for the reward to come and reinforcing the behavior that led to it. The problem arises when we become overly reliant on these external triggers for dopamine release. Our brains, constantly bombarded with artificial stimuli, begin to crave the next hit, the next notification, the next level of the game. This constant pursuit of dopamine-driven rewards can lead to a state of chronic dissatisfaction, where we find ourselves perpetually chasing the next high, never truly content with the present moment. Our modern world, for all its advancements, has become a breeding ground for dopamine dysregulation. We live in a time of unprecedented access to information, entertainment, and connection, all available at our fingertips 24/7. While this hyperconnectivity has its benefits, it has also created an environment where our brains are constantly bombarded with stimuli designed to trigger the release of dopamine. Social media platforms, with their carefully crafted algorithms, keep us scrolling for hours, feeding our brains a steady stream of likes, comments, and notifications, each one a tiny dopamine hit that keeps us coming back for more. Streaming services offer endless entertainment options, eliminating the need to wait for our favorite shows and movies, further feeding our desire for instant gratification. Even seemingly innocuous activities like checking email or browsing online can trigger the release of dopamine, particularly when these activities are associated with a sense of novelty or reward. This constant barrage of digital stimulation has profound effects on our brains, leading to a state of chronic overstimulation and, ultimately, a diminished capacity for experiencing genuine joy from the simple pleasures of life. While dopamine itself is not inherently bad, in fact, it's essential for our survival and well-being, the chronic overstimulation of our dopamine system comes at a steep price. Just as overeating can lead to obesity and health problems, an over-reliance on dopamine-driven rewards can lead to a host of mental and emotional challenges. One of the most noticeable consequences of dopamine overload is a decline in our attention spans. Our brains, accustomed to the constant novelty and stimulation of the digital world, find it increasingly difficult to focus on tasks that require sustained attention. This can manifest as difficulty concentrating, procrastination, and a general sense of mental fog. Moreover, chronic dopamine stimulation can lead to a diminished capacity for experiencing pleasure from everyday activities. When our brains are constantly flooded with dopamine from artificial sources, the simple joys of life like a beautiful sunset, a heartfelt conversation, or a walk in nature can really pale in comparison, leaving us feeling numb and unfulfilled. This can lead to a vicious cycle of seeking ever more intense stimuli to achieve the same level of pleasure, ultimately leading to a state of addiction and a disconnect from the things that truly matter in life. Recognizing the pervasive impact of dopamine dysregulation in our hyper-connected world, it becomes clear that a dopamine detox is not merely a trendy self-improvement hack, but a necessary recalibration for reclaiming our focus, our well-being, and ultimately, our lives. The goal is not to eliminate dopamine entirely, that's really impossible and even undesirable, but rather to restore balance to our dopamine system, to break free from the clutches of artificial stimulation, and to rediscover the joy of living in the present moment. By consciously choosing to disconnect from the digital deluge, to engage in activities that promote focus and presence, and to cultivate a mindful approach to technology, we can reset our dopamine system, enhance our capacity for joy, and reclaim our ability to live with intention and purpose. The dopamine detox is not about deprivation, but about empowerment, the power to choose how we spend our time, our energy, and ultimately, our lives. It's about reclaiming our attention, our focus, and our ability to experience the world with clarity and appreciation. The term dopamine detox often evokes images of extreme measures, complete digital isolation, austere living conditions, and a life devoid of pleasure. However, these misconceptions couldn't be further from the truth. A dopamine detox is not about punishing ourselves or depriving ourselves of the things we enjoy. It's not about becoming a digital hermit or shunning all forms of technology. Instead, it's about making conscious choices, about shifting our relationship with the digital world from one of mindless consumption to one of intentional engagement. It's about recognizing that our brains, constantly bombarded by a barrage of digital stimuli, need time to rest, to reset, and to recalibrate. It's about creating space for boredom, for stillness, for the kind of quiet contemplation that allows our minds to wander, to explore, and to tap into their innate creativity. A dopamine detox is not a punishment, it's a gift of presence, of focus, and of a deeper connection to ourselves and the world around us. The true goal of a dopamine detox is not to eliminate dopamine entirely. That's honestly an impossible and, well, undesirable feat, but rather to restore balance to our dopamine system. Think of it kind of like hitting the reset button on your brain, giving it a chance to recalibrate and regain its sensitivity to the natural rewards of life. When we constantly flood our brains with dopamine-triggering activities, things like social media scrolling, video game binging, or endless online shopping, our dopamine receptors actually become desensitized, needing ever more intense stimuli just to get the same level of pleasure. This can lead to a vicious cycle of craving and seeking, where we find ourselves perpetually chasing the next dopamine hit, never really satisfied, always wanting more. A dopamine detox helps to break this cycle by giving our brains a break from the constant barrage of artificial stimulation, allowing our dopamine receptors to regain their sensitivity and, honestly, enabling us to experience pleasure from the simple joys of life once again. Embracing a low dopamine lifestyle doesn't mean giving up all sources of pleasure or living some kind of life of austerity. It simply means shifting our focus from the fleeting dopamine-spiking activities that dominate our modern world to the simpler, more sustainable sources of joy that really nourish our minds, bodies, and souls. Think of activities that engage your senses, that challenge your mind, that connect you to something larger than yourself. Spending time in nature, immersing ourselves in a good book, engaging in meaningful conversations, pursuing a creative hobby, or just being present in the moment, these are all examples of low dopamine activities that can actually bring deep and lasting satisfaction. These activities might not trigger the same instant gratification as, say, checking our phones or scrolling through social media, but they offer a different kind of reward. A sense of peace, of connection, of deep fulfillment that comes from within, not from external validation. By incorporating more of these activities into our lives, we can, over time, retrain our brains to find pleasure in the simple things, to appreciate the beauty of the present moment, and to cultivate a sense of contentment that genuinely arises from within. In a world of constant digital distraction, boredom is actually a gateway to creativity. Embrace moments of stillness. Let your mind wander. You'll be surprised by the ideas and focus that emerge. Dopamine detox is an ongoing practice. Set boundaries, be mindful, and reclaim your attention. It's about choosing how you spend your time and energy. The urge to indulge in digital distractions is normal. Each time you resist, you strengthen your self-discipline. Over time, your brain adapts, finding joy in simpler things. Withdrawal from digital stimulation can be tough, but it's temporary. Embrace the discomfort. It's a sign your brain is healing. As your brain recalibrates, you'll notice renewed focus, deeper emotions, and greater appreciation for life's simple joys. This transformation fuels motivation and connection. Dopamine detox is a journey. Become aware of your triggers, reset with breaks from stimulation, and integrate healthier habits for lasting change. With clarity comes presence. A dopamine detox helps you savor life, connect deeply, and find joy in the moment. Matt unplugged for a weekend, rediscovered reading, nature, and family. He emerged calmer, more focused, and truly connected. A testament to the power of digital minimalism. Stillness nurtures creativity. By disconnecting, you create space for inspiration and breakthrough ideas to flourish. A dopamine detox combats burnout, restores focus, and boosts mood. Give your mind space to recharge and reach its full potential. The fear of missing out, commonly known as FOMO, has become a defining anxiety of the digital age. Fueled by the constant stream of curated lives and highlight reels on social media, FOMO preys on our innate desire for connection, belonging, and validation, leading us to believe that everyone else is living a more exciting, fulfilling life than our own. We scroll through our feeds, bombarded with images of exotic vacations, picture-perfect families, and seemingly effortless successes, and honestly we can't help but feel a pang of envy, a sense that we're somehow falling behind. This constant comparison game, fueled by the dopamine hits associated with social media engagement, can leave us feeling inadequate, anxious, and perpetually dissatisfied with our own lives. We become so caught up in the pursuit of external validation, in the need to portray a certain image of ourselves online, that we lose sight of the things that truly matter, our values, our passions, and the simple joys of being present in the moment. A dopamine detox, by providing a much-needed break from the FOMO-inducing world of social media, allows us to step off the treadmill of comparison and reconnect with our own internal compass. When we're not constantly bombarded with images of other people's seemingly perfect lives, we create the space to appreciate the beauty and uniqueness of our own experiences. We begin to realize that true fulfillment comes not from keeping up with the Joneses, but from pursuing our own passions, nurturing meaningful relationships, and finding joy in the simple things. We discover the liberating truth that sometimes, the greatest adventures are found not on our screens but in the quiet moments of reflection, connection, and gratitude. In the whirlwind of the digital age, it's easy to get swept away by the current, our time and attention pulled in 1,000 different directions by the demands of the online world. We find ourselves reacting to notifications, scrolling mindlessly through social media feeds, and filling our days with activities that, while momentarily engaging, leave us feeling empty and unfulfilled. This disconnect often stems from a lack of alignment between our actions and our values, between the life we're living and the life we truly desire. A dopamine detox, by creating space for reflection and introspection, provides a powerful opportunity to reconnect with our core values and to design a life that is more aligned with our deepest aspirations. When we step away from the constant distractions of the digital world, we create the space to ask ourselves the big questions. What truly matters to me? What kind of person do I want to be? What legacy do I want to leave behind? The answers to these questions may not come easily or immediately, but the process of asking them is a powerful first step towards creating a life of intention. By identifying our core values, compassion, creativity, connection, adventure, or whatever resonates most deeply with us, we can begin to make choices that align with those values, choices that move us closer to the life we envision for ourselves. This might involve prioritizing quality time with loved ones, pursuing a long-neglected passion, or simply making more time for activities that bring us joy and fulfillment. The dopamine detox, in this sense, becomes more than just a digital detox. It becomes a catalyst for personal growth, a journey of self-discovery that empowers us to create a life that is both meaningful and fulfilling. The dopamine detox, far from being a one-time event or a quick fix for digital overload, is best understood as a catalyst for personal growth, a journey of self-discovery that extends far beyond the realm of technology. It's an invitation to explore the depths of our own being, to understand the intricate workings of our minds, and to cultivate a more conscious, intentional relationship with ourselves and the world around us. By challenging our ingrained habits, Pushing past the discomfort of withdrawal and embracing the power of boredom, we develop resilience, self-awareness, and a deeper understanding of our own motivations and desires. We learn to differentiate between the fleeting pleasures that hijack our dopamine system and the more sustainable sources of joy that nourish our souls. This journey of self-discovery is not always easy or comfortable. It requires honesty, courage, and a willingness to confront the parts of ourselves that we may have been avoiding, but the rewards of this journey are immeasurable. A calmer mind, a more focused life, and a deeper connection to the things that truly matter. The dopamine detox, in essence, is an invitation to wake up, to reclaim our attention, our time, and ultimately, our lives. It's a chance to step off the treadmill of mindless consumption and to design a life that is aligned with our values, our passions, and our deepest aspirations. Are you ready to embark on a journey toward a calmer, more focused, and more fulfilling life? The first step on this transformative path is awareness. Before we can begin to make changes, we need to understand the current state of our digital diets, the patterns of consumption that have become so ingrained in our daily routines. Think of this first day as a digital detox reconnaissance mission, a chance to map out your personal dopamine landscape. Grab a notebook and pen, yes, the old-fashioned kind, and find a quiet space where you can reflect without distractions. At the top of the page, write down the following question: what are the digital activities that trigger my dopamine system? Be honest with yourself, even brutally so. Is it the endless scroll of social media, the addictive allure of video games, the binge-watching sessions that stretch late into the night? Perhaps it's the constant checking of email, the refreshing of news feeds, or the online shopping sprees that promise a quick hit of retail therapy. Don't just list the activities themselves, delve deeper into the emotions they evoke. Do they provide a sense of escape, of connection, of validation? Understanding the why behind our digital habits is crucial for making lasting change. The second day of our dopamine detox challenge is about taking action, about giving our brains a much-needed break from the constant stimulation of the digital world. Don't worry, we're not going off the grid entirely. Instead, we're going to embark on a 24-hour digital detox experiment, a day of conscious disconnection from the devices that have become such an integral part of our lives. Start by silencing your phone, not just putting it on vibrate, but completely silencing all notifications. If the thought of being completely unreachable for a day feels too daunting, consider setting aside specific times to check for urgent messages. Maybe once in the morning and once in the evening. Resist the urge to check social media, browse the web, or engage in any other dopamine-spiking digital activities. Instead, use this newfound time and mental space to reconnect with yourself and the world around you. Go for a walk in nature, noticing the sights, sounds, and sensations that you may have overlooked before. Pick up a book you've been meaning to read, allowing yourself to get lost in the pages of a story. Engage in a meaningful conversation with a loved one, truly listening and being present in the moment. Congratulations on completing a full day of digital detachment. As you re-enter the digital world, take some time to reflect on your experience. Grab your journal and jot down your thoughts and observations. How did it feel to disconnect from the digital world for a day? What challenges did you face? What insights did you gain? Were there moments when you felt restless, bored, or even anxious without your usual digital distractions? What activities helped to ease those feelings? Did you discover any hidden joys or passions that you had forgotten about in the hustle and bustle of your digital life? Most importantly, think about what you learned about yourself and your relationship with technology during this 24-hour experiment. Did you realize that you rely on digital distractions more than you thought you did? Did you discover a newfound appreciation for the simple things, for the beauty of the present moment? Use these insights to guide your re-entry into the digital world. Rather than simply returning to your old habits, make a conscious effort to integrate the lessons learned during your dopamine detox into your daily life. As you conclude this 3-day dopamine detox challenge, remember that this is just the beginning of a journey toward a calmer, more focused, and more fulfilling life. The goal is not to become a digital hermit, or to swear off technology altogether, but rather to cultivate a healthier, more balanced relationship with the digital world, one that supports your well-being rather than detracting from it. The small steps you take today, the conscious decision to put down your phone, to engage in a dopamine-free activity, to simply be present in the moment, create ripples of change that extend far beyond the immediate present. Each time you choose to resist the pull of digital distraction, you strengthen your mental muscles, enhance your capacity for focus and attention, and create the space for your innate creativity and joy to flourish. Remember, this is a journey, not a race. Be kind to yourself along the way, celebrate your successes, and view any setbacks as opportunities for learning and growth. The journey towards a calmer, more focused, and more fulfilling life is not a destination to be reached, but a path to be traveled, one that unfolds with each step we take, each choice we make. The 3-day dopamine detox challenge you've just embarked upon is not a quick fix, but a powerful first step on this transformative journey, an invitation to awaken to the incredible potential of your own mind. As you continue on this path, remember that progress is not always linear. There will be days when you feel the pull of old habits, moments when the allure of digital distractions threatens to derail your hard-won progress. Don't be discouraged by these setbacks, they are a natural part of the process. View them as opportunities for learning, for deepening your understanding of your own patterns and triggers. The key is to approach this journey with self-compassion. Celebrate your successes no matter how small they may seem. Acknowledge your struggles without judgment. And most importantly, never lose sight of the why behind your pursuit of clarity. The desire to live a more intentional life, to unlock your full potential, to experience the world with a renewed sense of wonder and appreciation. Remember, you are not alone on this journey. Countless others have walked this path before you, and countless more are walking it alongside you right now. Reach out to them, share your struggles and triumphs, and draw strength from the collective wisdom of those who have dared to unplug and reconnect with themselves and the world around them. In a world awash in digital distractions, reclaiming our clarity, our focus, and our ability to experience the world with presence and appreciation can feel like a monumental task. But the truth is, the power to live a more intentional, fulfilling life lies within each of us. It's a matter of understanding the forces that shape our minds, of recognizing the subtle ways in which our digital habits can undermine our well-being, and of making conscious choices that align with our values and aspirations. The insights you've gained through this dopamine detox challenge, the awareness you've cultivated around your own digital consumption habits, and the small steps you've taken towards digital minimalism have laid the groundwork for lasting change. You've begun to build a blueprint for a calmer, more focused, and more fulfilling life. A blueprint that you can continue to refine and adapt as you navigate the ever-evolving landscape of the digital age. This blueprint is not a rigid set of rules but a flexible framework that empowers you to make conscious choices about how you engage with technology, how you manage your time and energy, and ultimately how you want to live your life. It's about finding a sustainable balance, a way to integrate technology into your life in a way that serves you rather than enslaves you. Remember, the goal is not to become a digital hermit but to reclaim your agency, to become the conscious architect of your own digital experience. By setting healthy boundaries, prioritizing your well-being, and making time for the activities that nourish your mind, body, and soul, you can create a life that is both digitally connected and deeply fulfilling. The journey you've begun is not just about personal transformation, it's about something much larger than yourself. It's about reclaiming our collective attention, about shifting our cultural priorities from mindless consumption to conscious creation, from the pursuit of fleeting digital highs to the cultivation of lasting fulfillment. Imagine a world where presence is the new currency, where deep work is valued more than shallow distractions, where meaningful conversations trump fleeting online interactions, and where technology serves as a tool for connection and creativity rather than a source of disconnection and discontent. This may seem like a utopian vision, but it's a future we have the power to create, one conscious choice at a time. The dopamine detox, in its essence, is a revolutionary act. It's a rebellion against the tyranny of the attention economy, a rejection of the notion that our worth is measured in likes, shares, and followers. It's a commitment to living a more intentional life, to prioritizing our well-being, and to creating a world where presence, connection, and creativity flourish. As you continue on this journey, remember that you are not just changing your own life, you are inspiring others to do the same. Your commitment to clarity, your courage to disconnect, your willingness to embrace the power of presence, these actions have a ripple effect, inspiring those around you to question their own digital habits, to seek out deeper connections, and to create a world that is more aligned with our shared humanity. This is how we move from reset to revolution, from individual transformation to collective awakening. The journey starts with you. If this episode stirred something in you, if you're craving more clarity, more control, and less chaos, I wrote a book just for you. It's called The Clarity, and it goes deep into the science, psychology, and step-by-step systems for detoxing from digital burnout and building a mind built for 2025. You can get it now on Amazon. Link is in the description. And if this episode helped, consider subscribing, leaving a review, and sharing it with someone who's ready to reset their mind. This is just the beginning. Until next time, unplug, reset, and stay sharp.